Leaving the dilapidated church, I followed the trail of golden light, stretching northeast from the grace. Ahead of me was a man dressed like a soldier. Thankfully, I'd not done anything criminal in this land. Yet. So he should let me just go by. I was shocked when he drew his sword on me and struck me with his blazing torch. Not one to take an assault lying down, I quickly retaliated with my knife, giving him a chance to yield. When he rushed me again, I got a good look at his face, grey and listless. I made sure to cut him down and claim the helmet off his head. Perhaps the kindly merchant would give me a good price for it. Continuing down the beaten path, I took a swig from my crimson flask, feeling the burns and soreness from that torch bash fade as the crimson liquid went down my throat. I kept my eyes peeled, watching for the other soldiers around before I saw one, knelt over a dead body with something shiny on it. Carefully, I crept up behind him, burying my knife deep in his back to kill him, before claiming the small bundle of throwing kukri from the other body. Seeing a small cave mouth ahead and drawn by curiosity, I made way for it, swiftly moving to dispatch the soldier outside it before resting briefly at the grace just within the mouth. Moving deeper into the cave, the fire made me certain more of these listless soldiers would be inside. I was at least partly right, as two lay dead on the cave floor, no doubt killed by the pack of wolves who'd made their home here, though I'd end them swiftly with my bow. Things rarely ever go as planned, I thought to myself, while claiming some loot from the cave, a strange cracked jar, alongside some of the odd flora and fauna around the cave. Pushing even deeper, I came face to face with that impenetrable gold fog once more. Chilled to the bone, I remembered the nightmarish being which nearly killed me before, fearing that something similar lay beyond the fog. Summoning the nerve, I pushed ahead. I've already come this far, I thought, as I pushed through the fog, locking myself into combat with whatever lay beyond. It was another monster to be certain, more beastly than the creature from before, and yet far more human in shape. It swung with reckless abandon, wielding that odd chunk of metal like a sword. Its movements, erratic, but far more predictable than that other monster with its many limbs. I felt confident, but still fought cautiously, striking when it best suited me, and drinking from my crimson flask any time it struck me with that hunk of iron. With one final step, the creature was dead, and with its death came a bounty of runes, alongside a strange talisman. A shield depicting a singular red dragon, smouldering still. Perhaps it would make any future hits in the face from a torch hurt less. A pale, glowing pillar of light nearby drew me closer, and upon touching it, I was instantly returned to the mouth of the cave. My astonishment was soon drowned by horror and awe. The soldiers from before, the ones I stabbed in the back, they were alive again, doing just as they were before. How this was possible I knew not, but I'd be certain not to casually walk through any area from now on. I pushed onward, taking out another soldier with a hard stab to his spine. Then, after gathering some resin from the roots of a tree, I exited the small forest, coming to stand on a small rock overlooking the ruins down the hill. Carefully, and as best I could, I surveyed the ruins, spotting multiple soldiers, one even having a trumpet on him, no doubt to alert the camp to intruders. Most interesting, though, was the presence of a grace on both ends of the ruins. I'd touch the northern grace, push south through the ruins, and find whatever treasure these soldiers were guarding. This first soldier was far enough from his comrades that I was able to easily dispatch him before looting whatever lay in the cart behind him. What I found was a great sword, rather nice looking, but far too heavy and slow for me, at least for now. Cutting across the cobblestone road, I made way towards another secluded soldier, though after stabbing him in the back, I quickly realized he did have a friend. Strangely though, he didn't scream for help, or even try to alert the other soldiers, and none of them seemed to even register the clashing of blades as I killed him too. There was something odd at the base of the stele that the trumpeter walked past. I'd have to check that out soon, though first made my way back to the north end of the ruins, planning to use the bushes to stay hidden from view before I'd snatch whatever lay at the feet of it. It was a map. I'd have to examine it more closely after I'd finished looting the ruins. Taking out the soldier behind the stele as rain began to fall. This is rather nice, I thought to myself, enjoying the rain while heading towards the second large cart in the ruins. There were only 2 guarding it, and so long as I took out the one with the tower shield first, silencing the other would be a simple task. Inside lay a simple flail, not as slow as the great sword, but very unwieldy, so again I'd stick to my knife. This had to be where the good stuff was. 4 soldiers, 2 wolves, and a knight guarding this last section. Hopefully, I could slip around the south end and nab the treasure before the knight was alerted. Either these soldiers were woefully dull, or there was something else wrong with them. Their hounds equally as incompetent, it seemed, even with the rain. It was astonishing that the wolf didn't see or smell me. Curiosity tugging at me, I decided to try something. Killing the lone guard, I then slipped back into the bush, curious how the soldier and hound would react to their comrade's lifeless body on the ground. To my horror, they didn't even acknowledge the body. They weren't incompetent. They were lifeless, not dead, but just hollow, going through the motions without any greater thought. While my first arrow found its mark and hit his head, my many missed shots to follow made my cheeks burn with embarrassment. Thankfully, he was too far gone to mock me as I killed him and his hound before pushing on. Seeing stairs going down, I knew now where my prize lay. Waiting for the patrolling pair to turn their backs, I slipped by them. And even the spearman, who I thought saw me before I snuck further down the stairs. Though when he didn't pursue me, I continued down, finding a whetstone knife and the edicts of some strange technique in the chest at the bottom. Perhaps not valuable, but useful, I hoped. Sneaking out of the ruins proved more tricky. I didn't know where that spearman had gone, and I didn't want to risk him ambushing me. So I crept back down the stairs, waiting for him to appear, and the pair to be distracted before I escaped, heading for the grace up ahead to rest at. It was rather lucky that a thief end up in a world where the denizens, at least so far, seemed blissfully ignorant of some sneaking around so long as it wasn't literally in their face. Seeing the grace, with those strands of golden light swirling towards it, I sprinted ahead, wanting to enjoy its pleasant warmth to rest at. Evening gave way to night as I sat in the warm golden glow of the grace, like it was a campfire, surprised by a visitor magically appearing by the grace. By the gods!
Greetings.
Was that her?
Traveler,
The woman
from
from the
beyond
cave.
the fog. I am Melina.
She really did have such a nice voice. But what made her seek me out again?
I offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the two fingers.
This land's obsession with
offering
fingers
guidance
was starting
and
to
aid
get on my
to the
nerves,
Tarnished.
though her words did make me think. Was that murdered maiden to
I
be
am
my
afraid
finger maiden? That
I
aside,
was.
it became clear to me that a Tarnished was one who
I
came
can
to
play
this
the
land
role
from
of
afar,
maiden,
by whatever means one used to come here.
turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring.
I knew not what this Elden Ring was,
You need only
but it
take
sounded
one with you.
valuable. and turning the runes
To
that
the
my
foot of
foes
the
dropped
Erd
into
Tree.
strength was tempting too. Even if I hadn't promised to
Then it
repay her
said,
earlier kindness,
"Summon me
I'd
by
still
grace
accept her offer even
to
now.
turn runes into strength." Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring. Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
This woman seemed hell-bent on me being indebted to her. Not that I minded.
Shall I turn your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment, share them with me. Your thoughts, your ambitions,
Her hand was
the
soft,
principles
her voice
you would
gentle
follow.
and soothing. It felt like being in a haze, almost as I did indeed feel stronger, more dexterous, by the time her tender touch left my palm. Just like that, she was gone. I prayed I'd see her again soon. I could only hope for that much.